continuing story of Peyton Place. Starring Dorothy Malone as Constance Mackenzie, Warner Anderson as Matthew Swain, Ed Nelson as Michael Rossi, and Mia Farrow as Allison Mackenzie.
Some time ago, when George Anderson created a scene of violence in Peyton Place, he was helped by Elliot Carson. Now, after some months in the shelter of Greenvale Sanitarium, George is going home for a trial visit. Once again, Elliot Carson, by driving him home, is helping him. But in George's confused mind, Elliot Carson is the one who needs help.
How they been treating you? They giving you a rough time?
No, George, no.
You leveling with me?
I'm doing all right.
I believe in you, buddy. You know that, don't you?
Come on. Julie will think something's happened to us.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for the lift.
You bet.
Elliot? Did you, bring in a visitor?
No, that's George Anderson. Don't you know him?
No, we've never met, but I've heard of him. The embattled insurance man.
That's not a very funny joke, Paul.
No, I'll admit it isn't. Maybe I'll think of a better one soon.
And the cleaners, Paul? You haven't picked up your suit yet.
No, that sounds critical. Julie, listen. George is going to be all right.
These trial visits, I feel as though we were both on trial.
No one's on trial. You and George ought to remember that.
I know.
Hi, honey.
Hello, George.
Dr. Rossi?
Well, George, how you feeling?
Oh, fine, just fine.
Well, it's good to have you home.
It is, George.
Listen, I have some house calls to make.
Oh, Doctor, do you have a minute?
Sure.
I just wanted to thank you for getting Betty that job.
Well, the hospital can always use competent help.
No, I understood you went out of your way. Dr. Rossi's employment agency, huh? Well, you've got both my girls working. Maybe you could find something for the man of the house.
Well, I'm sure there'll be plenty of jobs when the time comes.
I feel the time has come. If I pass this test, I'd graduate.
Well, I had a nice talk with Dr. Kessler this morning.
Oh, what did he say?
Nothing to worry about. You're doing fine.
Oh, well, I just wondered.
Well, we both agree you should take things slowly for a while.
Oh, I will. Don't you worry. From now on, it's easy does it. No more foxholes for old Georgie.
That's good. You come by tomorrow. We'll talk about it some more.
Good. I'd like that.
Have a good day. Both of you.
Well, Julie.
Elliot?
Oh, hi.
Well, you're back early.
Yes, I got an early start.
Oh, how was the drive?
Fine. I stopped off on the way up. I saw a whole flight of Canadian honkers take off from Western Pond. They put on quite a show.
Yes, I've seen them. How's George?
Oh, George is fine. Or will be, given half a chance.
I'm glad. I was worried when I heard you'd gone up after him. I was afraid there'd be trouble.
Well, who's better able to cope with that? Julie or I?
It's just that someone in your position, a man on parole, you can't be too careful.
A man can be too careful.
You have to think of your own life, too, Elliot. If if you start getting mixed up in other people's problems, you...
That's what returning to a normal life means. Returning to people. If I shut myself out, I'm only trading one prison for another.
I suppose you're right. You are right.
Thanks for worrying.
Elliot Carson?
Yes?
I have a subpoena for you.
For what?
You're ordered to appear in court tomorrow for the hearing over Mrs. Harrington's will. Any questions, Mr. Carson?
I like your hair that way.
Betty should be here soon. We'll go to lunch.
You nervous?
No, George.
Well, you go on with your work. I don't want to get in your way. I'll make myself comfortable over here.
You're not in the way, George.
Johnny. Oh, yeah, honey.
You're home, George. You're home.
Elliot?
Oh, Matt, I'm sorry to bother you, but this is important. Read this.
You were ordered to produce Elizabeth's diary?
You know why? It implicates Leslie Harrington in Elizabeth's murder, and Wainwright feels that if he uses it in court tomorrow, he can defeat Harrington.
I thought you and Wainwright made a bargain not to use the diary.
Well, someone else made a better one. Paul Hanley.
Are you sure?
Paul's been threatening me for days now that if I didn't expose Harrington, he would.
And when you take that diary into court, Harrington's not going to stop to think of Constance or Allison. He's going to tell the whole town the truth. The fact that Mackenzie is a fiction and you're Allison's father.
I promised Constance that would never happen. Matt, you've got to stop this subpoena.
I can't. It's a legal order.
We'll talk to Wainwright.
Wainwright's an attorney. He wants to win a case.
And I'll burn the diary.
Destroy evidence? Perjure yourself? Elliot, you're on parole.
I love my daughter, Matt.
Even if you did destroy the diary, Paul Hanley could still testify as to its contents. There's only one person has any choice to make.
Harrington? He's not going to give up now.
If he goes into court, he might wind up losing more than the mill.
Yeah, he stands to lose a great deal. But Constance and I, we could lose everything.
Hey, you're not going to get much service sitting there.
Yeah, I guess not.
How are you, Norman?
I'm okay.
No school today?
Not for me.
Rodney told me you've been sick.
Did he? I wasn't sick. I got in a fight, Allison.
Yeah, I know.
Then why didn't you say so?
Gee, it's cold out here. I've got to relieve Mother for lunch. Will you come with me?
I got things on my mind.
Bring them with you.
Look, Allison, I'm not looking for any handouts.
All right. I'm sorry.
Hey. Let's go.
Never mind. I get paid tomorrow. I'll be in for it then. All right, I'll put it aside for you. Thank you.
Hi, Rita.
Hi, Norman.
You know Allison McKenzie, don't you? This is Rita Jackson.
How do you do? We used to see each other at school, I think.
Yes. Well, I'd better get back to work now. I hope you didn't get into trouble with your brother.
No, it's okay. I handled it.
Oh, I wondered about it. I'll see you.
I didn't know she was a friend of yours.
Yeah, sure.
I ran into her the other night. Is this what she bought?
Mm-hmm. A girl doesn't buy that book just to pass the time, you know.
I guess I made quite an impression.
We've been telling you for years. You underestimate yourself.
Now that that's been proven, I guess you just have to accept it. No, really, Norman, I'm glad you have a girlfriend.
Hey, aren't you rushing things a little?
I think you need to be rushed a bit.
You mean you're not jealous?
No, of course not.
Not even a little?
Well, maybe a little.
That's more like it.
Well, whatever happens, Norman, I'd like to keep some part of you just for me. I guess I want to keep some part of everybody that I care about.
I still think you're rushing things a little. I mean, you can't get rid of me that easy.
Wainwright still seems to feel he has the advantage. He subpoenaed Paul Hanley.
It was Hanley who found the diary. He knows it confirms Catherine's accusations about Elizabeth and me.
Then you no longer deny you were seeing her?
No.
You contended throughout my preparation for this codicil contest that your wife was mentally deranged, that she imagined you turned to other women, that this was a recurring hallucination. Now you tell me the diary proves it was not an hallucination.
That's right. And Hanley's convinced now he was wrong about Carson. He's ready to testify that I was at the beach house that night. That it was my voice he heard.
Was it?
It could have been.
You were there?
Yes. Ted, I didn't kill Elizabeth.
Les, tell me the truth.
I didn't kill her, that's the truth.
But not all of it. All right. What's Hanley up to? Blackmail?
Nothing that simple. Revenge. He calls it justice.
I'm going to offer you my best advice, Leslie, as your friend as well as your lawyer. A smart fighter knows when to give up. You've always been a smart fighter.
You're telling me to drop the case.
In the beginning, this was a simple lawsuit over a contested will. Now, it could be the retrial of a murder. What is it?
It's Norman. He's with Allison Mackenzie in Constance. It's been a long time since I've seen my son Norman laugh at anything.